A quorum is present. I will now call this meeting to order. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. This meeting was called to consider the Level 3 parent-student grievance brought by Ms. Wamika Allen. Prior to the beginning of the grievance hearing, the board would like to consult with attorney Lisa McBride, who is here tonight, to advise the board regarding this grievance. The board would now go into executive session under sections 551.071 to consult with Ms. Lisa McBride considering the Level 3 parent-student grievance. The board would then hear the complaint in open session beginning at 4:30 p.m. Ms. McBride will advise the board regarding all or parts of the grievance. Additionally, the board may reconvene in executive session under 551.071 at any time to consult with Ms. McBride. A closed or executive meeting of the board will now be held. The time is 4:16 p.m. is reconvened in open session at 4:30 p.m. The board will now conduct the Level 3 Parent-Student Grievance. On behalf of the board, I am asking Ms. McBride to assist in facilitating the hearing and to serve as the legal counsel to the Board of Trustees. If either side has particular questions, please direct them to Ms. Bride on our behalf. Additionally, if any board member wants the board to consult with Ms. McBride in executive session, please direct such request to me. Ms. McBride, please proceed.
Good evening, everyone. The board is meeting today to hear the complaint from Mrs. Allen, who has filed a grievance under the policies of the district, in particular F and G local. Because of the nature of the allegations in Ms. Allen's grievance, it entered the district's 3-tiered complaint system at level 3, which is a hearing before the board. I am facilitating the hearing, but I am not a decision maker. The board will be considering the record and the presentations made on behalf of Mrs. Allen and on behalf of the administration. The board's objective today is to hear from Mrs. Allen and any response information from the administration. Mr. Chris Gilbert, attorney with Thompson and Horton, will be responding to Ms. Allen's concerns on behalf of the administration. The board's objective tonight is to hear from Mrs. Allen concerning her grievance. Since Ms. Allen initiated this grievance, she will have the responsibility of presenting her claims to the board and convincing the board that she has been wronged as stated in the grievance and that she is entitled to the relief she is seeking. The board has the final authority to determine the facts related to this issue and to make a decision at the conclusion of these proceedings. The decision will be made orally or in writing at any time up to and including the next regularly scheduled board meeting. The board may decide the facts and interpret and apply board policies related to the allegations. As background, this grievance concerns the district's issuance of a trespass notice to Ms. Allen on October 22, 2025, and Ms. Allen's assertions that the trespass prevented her from attending and participating in her daughter's school events, was delivered in a harassing, threatening, and bullying manner, and the district has failed to respond to her request for clarification and guidance concerning the trespass notice. Specifically, as relief, Ms. Allen asked for written clarification of the authority and the process used to issue the notice. She also requests the identification of who requested and signed off on the notice to have local police at her door, staff training on bullying, harassment, and parent-reported safety concerns, and assurance that she may participate in her daughter's school activities without retaliation. Ms. Allen and the administration were each permitted to provide supporting documentation in support of their respective positions to Ms. Elizabeth Valdez Beltran, Secretary to the Board of Trustees, by Friday, March 27, 2026. That deadline was additionally extended to provide additional time for Ms. Allen to provide any written statements that she wanted to be considered by the board by last Friday. All documents received by March 27th or last Friday have been provided to the board, Ms. Allen and the administration as the record in this matter. Now I'm going to go over the procedures to be followed for today's hearing. This hearing will be conducted as an administrative proceeding. Ms. Allen, you will have the right to make your presentation to the board first. You will have 15 minutes to make your presentation. Following that presentation, the administration will have 15 minutes to make its presentation. After the administration has presented whatever information they desire, Ms. Allen will have 5 minutes for rebuttal, and the administration will similarly have 5 minutes for rebuttal. So a total of 20 minutes, broken down, 15 minutes for the main presentation, 5 minutes for the rebuttal. I will keep time, and I will let you know when your time is up. If either party wants me to indicate to you when you have 2 minutes left remaining in your presentation, let me know, and I'll do that. In accordance with Board Policy F&G Local, in addition to any other record of the board meeting tonight, a separate recording is being made of this proceeding. Please avoid talking while others are speaking so that a clear recording of this proceeding can be made. Members of the board may question Ms. Allen and the administration. However, it is not the board's intention to ask questions during the presentation so as not to interrupt the flow, but to hold their questions until the conclusion of the presentations. Because both Ms. Allen and the administration have limited time to present their presentations, I will ask the board members to save their questions until both sides have completed their presentations. And just a reminder, board members are not subject to questioning by either presenter. I'm going to poll the board now regarding their ability to consider this matter just based on the record and based on the arguments that are presented tonight. We'll start down to my right, and I'm going to ask each board member going around the horn, can you hear the presentation and render a fair decision? Can you listen to the presentations and render a fair and impartial decision? If you'll state your name and then your answer to that question. Thank you so much.
I, Amanda Arabia, yes, I can listen.
Thank you.
I, Jose Jimenez, yes, I can.
I, Linda Clark Gerard, yes, I can.
I, Ramon Garza, yes.
Thank you very much.
I, Adrian Stevens, yes, I can.
And finally,
I, Noe Esparza, yes, I can.
thank you very much. Ms. Allen?
It's hard for me to believe that when one of the kids' parents that bullied my daughter is here and one of their colleagues, but what did you need from me?
I'm getting ready to announce that it's time for us to begin the hearing and that you can begin your presentation. You will have 15 minutes. Be sure to state any laws or policies you believe the district has violated. And even though I've read into the record the specific relief that you are requesting as part of this hearing, if you will confirm the relief that you're requesting, that would be wonderful. Before you start, I might want to speak up just a little bit, and then would you like a reminder when you've got 2 minutes left on your 15 minutes, or do you want to just let it count down?
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. I'm going to start the timer now. You may begin, Ms. Allen.
If you notice, I did not supply exhibits for this grievance. This was intentional. Previously, I would spend countless hours putting together exhibits and evidence just to come to these grievances and be met with nothing but deflection, inconsistencies, and outright misrepresentation by this district. I am not naive. You all know exactly who I am and exactly what situations are at hand. What I continue to see is a pattern of this district banding together, deflecting and avoiding accountability instead of addressing the truth, hiding behind lawyers and selective outrage instead of facts. I may be one parent going up against the system, but when it comes to my children, I will go to the depths of hell, as I stated before. Let's also stop pretending that this all came out of nowhere, because it simply did not. This started when GPISD allowed my daughter to be targeted in a cheer captain process, a process that resulted in the most experienced, most decorated, most qualified person on the team to be placed dead last in that process. Not because of ability, but because of nepotism. One of GPISD's staff members, who was sitting right over there, wanted his daughter to be captain, and they wanted to send a message to my daughter, putting her dead last. I stood up and refused to let what was happening go unchecked, and this district was not happy about that. This was never about a position. This was about holding adults accountable for bullying my daughter. Instead of being transparent, GPISD band together to control the narrative and make me seem as a disgruntled parent that was upset because my daughter wasn't captain, and this couldn't be further from the truth. My daughter was historically bullied by 4 teammates. Their family has ties to Galena Park I.S.D. and nothing was done. She was sexually harassed and stalked by a male student who family has ties to GPISD and nothing was done. She was also targeted by GPISD staff and nothing was done. But the moment I step in to protect my daughter from all of this, the district has a problem. Now let's get to the facts regarding this trespass. Under Texas Education Code 371.05, the district can trespass a parent under 2 conditions: a documented substantial risk of harm or behavior that continues after a verbal warning. Neither applies here. If you are claiming that no warning was required, then you are claiming that I was in immediate danger. This is a serious claim and it requires evidence, and you provided no evidence to support this claim. You only refer to my social media as evidence. You claimed I made videos with vulgar language on my personal social media page. This is not a crime. This is protected by freedom of speech. I don't have to speak in a way that make y'all comfortable. In fact, no one cared when my daughter was uncomfortable, so you take your feelings up with Jesus and not with me. In those videos, I stated potential steps that I would take if someone was to harm my daughter, and I am here to tell you I would. If anyone, including the man on the moon, wants to bring intentional harm to my children, I would handle it accordingly. What the district is going to say, what there were more videos, what the district is not going to say is there were more videos further explaining what was going on and how my daughter was being sexually harassed and bullied by students and GPISD staff. And my only request was that my daughter be left alone. If GPISD had enforced their rules, all of this could have been prevented. It is my right to protect my kids. Nothing I did was against the law. In addition, I have never been disruptive on school property. I am actually a very involved parent. The trespass was to retaliate against me for standing up to this district and not allowing their colleagues' kids to get away with behavior because of their ties to the district. Another interesting fact is that the notice of trespass comes from the uncle of one of Talia's bullies. He has been a GPISD SRO for over 15 years. So essentially, the student bullied my daughter and GPISD does nothing. But when I step in, the SRO uncle is going around looking for me to serve a trespass notice. One of the other bullies has even stronger ties. Her dad is over North Shore Senior High. This whole situation is convoluted, full of abuse of power, nepotism, and selective outrage, retaliation, and conflict of interest. What the district isn't going to say is that prior to my videos, I have had several calls, meetings, and emails to address all of this, the bullying and the sexual harassment. Now let's discuss this trespass warning that was served by Precinct 3 constables. I asked the reason for the warning, and GPISD has yet to explain or take ownership for sending police officers to my home without an official reason. These officers stalked my home, showed excessive force, and came aggressively, approached my children to deliver an administrative notice that was unwarranted and to intimidate me right before a Title IX investigation. This is also against the law, using their relationship with the police to harass me, and I still haven't been provided with any documentation to support this situation. I requested answers from Chief Clement, Jared Link, Dr. Moore, Mr. Pearson, SROs, Precinct 3 constables, and still I have no answers, and most are unresponsive. GPISD is such cowards that they didn't want to meet with me to discuss the notice of trespass or warning. They declined as if they were doing me a favor, but it's their job to explain it to me. But they knew they had no basis, and as usual, they wanted to throw a rock and hide their hand. In fact, GPISD contacted the DA office to pursue charges, and charges were declined. So if I was an immediate threat, I would be in jail. You tried, but you failed. When a district can't use connections and must follow protocol, they fall short. There are screaming safety concerns, but when I made police reports to document harassment towards my daughter, GPISD lied to protect that student on official police paperwork. Again, the district cares nothing about safety and have selective outrage. My videos stem from my daughter easily doing 5 toe touches back-to-back at a varsity football game. One of the 4 girls made the remark to her, "Breathe, bitch," to embarrass her because she could not do it. After the game, Talia sent a text message setting boundaries and requesting to be respected as she respects everyone. Letting them know that she was tired of the attack and they don't have to like each other, but they need to respect each other. These girls were responding aggressively and stated they wanted to address this in person. At school, they waited until they had a class with all the varsity cheerleaders and ganged up on her. Even though this happened in front of a teacher, still no consequences. Still to this day, they have not faced any consequences. Talia was sent to the counselor in tears, but those girls sat in class as if they did nothing. No one was punished for calling my daughter a bitch and verbally, socially, and physically assaulting her in her class. I came to school and demanded a meeting to address all of this. In the meeting, Talia explained what happened. Evidence was provided, and I made it clear that I did not care who these students were connected to. Who these students were connected to, and they were not going to continue to causing my daughter emotional harm, and they would leave her alone. There were several other documented and undocumented instances before I was fed up. Talia was in counseling and on medication to help cope with the distress at the hands of GPISD. If she wasn't being bullied, then she was being sexually harassed, and that was on y'all watch, not mine. GPISD is attempting to act as if none of this happened to cover that they failed to act. GPISD also falsely gave the kids protection under Title IX, but my daughter, who was the victim, hasn't received any protection. Their lack of action caused my daughter to be in a chaotic and unsafe school environment. GPISD thought that I was going to allow their college children to get away with disrupting my daughter's school environment and denying her equal access to education. I told you all before, I did not care who is related to whom. No one is going to mistreat my daughter. I gave them ample time to handle it. I was not requesting consequences just for my daughter to be left alone. I am a parent advocating for a child after repeated failures by the district. Let's be clear, Talia was not left alone until I jumped in. I stopped the behavior, not GPISD. In addition, Dr. Eckford wanted to use his position to bully my child. He used his position to have his daughter announced as 3-time All-American when Talia was the only 3-time All-American. His wife would attempt to bully my daughter at games. She knew I wasn't going to attend. Hold on one second. That I wasn't allowed to attend. But tell her she can come bully me because I will bully back and I don't care who her husband is. GPISD also wanted to ban me from events not on GPISD ground and had their SROs harass me at games that was not on GPISD property. I attended a game at the University of Houston and was told that I was violating the notice of trespass. But when I asked for clarification, they all wanted to act dumb, like they didn't know what I was talking about. Instead of enjoying my daughter's senior year, I have been targeted by GPISD trying to use their position to harass and intimidate myself and my daughter. The safety threat was unchecked behavior by the students towards my daughter. I did not pose no immediate threat, so the law required a verbal warning, documentation of that warning, and continued behavior after that warning. None of that happened. If this was truly about safety, then my daughter's bullies and her stalker would have been addressed a long time ago. They were not. They were allowed to continue attending school and events without consequences while my daughter continued to be harmed. The only person removed from anything in this situation was the parent of the parent advocating for her child. This is not safety. This is a selective enforcement. On top of that, I was not provided proper written notice of appeal rights at the time of the trespass. Redirecting me later to grievance procedures does not satisfy the law. This has also interfered with my parental rights, especially considering my daughter has protections under a 504 plan. My involvement is required, not something that can be restricted without proper legal justification. Let's be very clear. This was not an emergency. I was not in immediate danger. The required warning process was not followed. The required documentation does not exist. No continued behavior has been identified. That alone makes this action non-compliant. Proper notice was not provided. Those are not optional steps. They are mandatory under the law. The district wanted my daughter to normalize being mistreated, and that was never going to happen. This situation did not start with me. It started with a district that failed to protect my child and attempted to silence the parent who refused to accept it. because GPISD did not follow the law under Texas Education Code 37.105. This trespass is procedurally defective, legally unsupported. Kids are dying, having lifelong mental effects, and killing themselves because of situations like this. And this district thought I wasn't going to protect my daughter. I'm always going to protect mine. Good day.
Thank you, Mrs. Allen. Mr. Gilbert? Do you want notice when you've got 2 minutes, or do you want to just let your time run down?
I've got the notice.
Okay. All righty. I'm going to start your time now.
Good afternoon, members of the board. This grievance tonight is about the trespass notice that was issued to Mrs. Allen. It is not about the captain selection, the cheerleader captain selection. Y'all have already heard that grievance. It is not about bullying in the cheerleader program. That has been looked into under a separate procedure. It is not about harassment and bullying at school. That has been looked into and is currently still being looked into under Title IX. But as part of this whole process, we ended up in a situation where the administration felt like it had no choice but to ban Mrs. Allen from coming on school property and attending school events. Now, that was primarily done under Section 37.105 of the Education Code. Contrary to what Mrs. Allen just told you, it does not require an immediate threat. It can be done when there is a substantial risk of harm. The district believed there was a substantial, now she told you there was no evidence. The district believed there was a substantial risk of harm based on several videos that she posted, and I'm going to play those for you right now.
It has been brought to my attention that a particular girl on the team has a problem with my daughter. Now, the same girl's been jealous of her since they've been around, right? Since they've been around each other. My daughter has never done them nothing. There was an incident at the last game where one of them called my daughter a bitch. Breathe bitch, because Talia did 3 or 4 jumps back to back, and since they can't match it, what was said was something to the effect of breathe bitch or something. I don't know, shit childish anyway. But Talia basically explained, and we have the text messages, don't disrespect me, I don't disrespect y'all, and just moving forward or whatever like that. She don't operate like that. So they took it and want to, I guess, gang up on her. Baby, look, let me tell y'all something. And I made sure you could show this to your mama. If anybody was to play with my motherfucking child, I want your motherfucking mama. If you 18, bitch, I'll get out there with you too. Right? Because at that point, you're not a child. Fuck with mine and take it to the streets, and I'ma really prove that you's a hoe. Bitch, because y'all be thinking y'all hood, y'all be thinking y'all about that shit, but really, I'ma show y'all how to motherfucking do it. I'ma school you motherfuckers on how to be hood. I'ma school you motherfuckers on what beef is and how to motherfucking roll with beef. Right? I'ma show you motherfuckers. Talia can't show you, but bitch, her mama will. Worried about my child, I need to be worried about getting checked for STDs, bitch. Worry about why the motherfucker everybody done ran through you motherfuckers. Worry about why the fuck y'all didn't work on y'all skill enough to where y'all can't do nothing on the motherfucking field, right? Worry about why people call y'all the easy click, bitch. Don't worry about my bitch. She good. But if you worried about her, come get her. Come motherfucking get her. Come get her mama. Cause bitch, the day somebody touch my child is the day I want your motherfucking mama. I be at the game. I can meet up with you. I don't hide no fucking well. I be from Wildsville to Tassacita to motherfucking Crosby. I ain't hard to motherfucking find, right? So bitch, play with me, I'ma play with your motherfucking mama. I know everybody's business, who house dirty and every motherfucking thing else. Bitch, y'all need to be worrying about other shit
like STDs and fucking pregnancies and all that shit before you worry about mine. Cause that one clean, boo-boo. And that's why y'all hoes be mad. If this is for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. But if it is, bitch, let's always know it's up. Always. So you can send it to the school, you can send it to your motherfucking mama, you can send it to whoever the fuck you want to, but bitch, play with mine. Y'all hoes think y'all grown because y'all out here doing everything what grown people do besides pay motherfucking bills, bitch, but y'all ain't motherfucking grown. But if you think you grown and you turn 18, bitch, come with me because I heard y'all got a problem with me. And I don't fuck with children. So if you got a problem with me, tell your mama, approach me. But if you 18 and you feeling froggy, then motherfucking jump.
This is the
I
second
just left
video.
the school. Cause one thing about it, if something going on with my daughter, I'm dropping everything, bitch, and let's go. Right? So from my understanding, for what Talia told me, she said she didn't have a conversation, she didn't have mind having a conversation with them, but they wanted to gang up on her. And they didn't want to have a conversation to get to the bottom of everything. They wanted to, I guess, start like confusion. Like you can't have a conversation with wild motherfucking animals, right? So she wanted they said that they want to address it, which it wasn't nothing to address because in the text message, she already had said what it was. Like, don't disrespect me. I'm tired of y'all disrespecting me. And moving forward, don't do that because I'm going to have to start saying something back. And Talia doesn't want to say anything mean back. Because what I told her to say was tell them acid pussy ass hoes. And acid pussy means they burning everything that go up in that motherfucker. Tell them acid pussy ass hoes, yuck mouth ass motherfuckers that fucking graduated with crooked ass motherfucking teeth. Right? Dirty house ass hoes. Ran through assholes, right? Pussy got so many miles on there, bitch, and they probably didn't pass me up as a grown woman with 3 motherfucking children. Why they worry about Talia? Talia's not worried about them, right? So their obsession with Talia is beyond me. And I hope they don't think that, look, both sides gonna be able to help her. Because fucking with my baby, I don't give a fuck about who nobody daddy is. Cause y'all sitting up there worrying about, bitch, y'all want people to move out the way for her daddy, like niggas moved out the way for my daddy. But my daddy unalived niggas and put it work in the street to have niggas move out the way when he used to walk down the street. And that's in black and white. If you ever want the black and white, I can send it to your messages. Then a motherfucker say they gonna call their brother. They just call your brother. Who brother? Do you know who my brother is? Do you know who my brother is? Bitch, my brother went to jail for fucking murder. I was in school. I mean, when I was younger, I was gonna see my brother in the penitentiary, bitch. Because he unalived niggas, bitch. That's why I say Talia's not a reflection of her motherfucking, of her background. Talia's a reflection of generational curses being broken and trying to move the fucking bloodline forward. Bitch, don't play with me. And then the ugliest one on the scene has the most to motherfucking say, bitch, worry about yourself. Don't worry about Talia. And I heard you 18. So, bitch, call your mama. Call whoever you need to call. But fucking with Talia is not motherfucking safe. Bitch, worry about why the fuck in between your legs is so black, you acid pussy, bitch. Because Talia not gonna say it, but I'm a motherfucking say it. Since y'all want to be a bully, bitch, I'm going to show y'all how to be a bully. And it ain't very nice, huh? It doesn't feel good for a motherfucker to know that your pussy ran through and say that your pussy ran through, huh? And no, it does not feel good, right? So, leave my motherfucking daughter alone. I stand on everything that I say, and if you got a problem with it, tell your motherfucking mom. But if you 18, let me know what's up. Let me know what's up. Because, bitch, I don't give a fuck at this point. Y'all hoes ain't gonna play with my motherfucking baby. Y'all hoes ain't gonna fuck up my senior year. Why niggas have a conversation about who got the best mouth. Baby, y'all hoes mad. My baby unmotherfucking touched, bitch. Untouched, bitch. Untouched, bitch. And that's why y'all hoes mad, because y'all ran through. And she ain't even start fucking running yet, bitch. Mind your business. Worry about your motherfucking self, because I got that. Right? And so everybody talking about, oh, that's children, that's children. They ain't motherfucking children when they want to gang up on my baby. They ain't children then. They ain't children when they bumping their motherfucking grinding and passing that cat around, messing with people niggas and shit like that. They ain't children then, huh? They want to operate like an adult, and I'ma treat a motherfucker like an adult. right? Because if you don't fuck with my children, you never hear from me. I don't fuck with nobody just like my daughter don't fuck with nobody, but ain't nobody gonna fuck with her. I be from the east side to the motherfucker, whether bitch, I'm not hard to find. Tell your people what's up. Y'all want beef, bitch, I want beef. I want beef with y'all parents, but like I said, if y'all feeling some type of way and y'all 18, bitch, let's go. What's up? Because what y'all ain't gonna do, first of all, let me tell you how I knew you hoes scary. Because Talia is not the type of person people have to gang up on. So for y'all to like to run in packs to mess with her, shows that y'all jealous, but it also tell a motherfucker like me, bitch, y'all scary. Scary. But a motherfucker like me, before I even get my hands dirty, bitch, I'll pay somebody $50, $60 to beat y'all hoes up. A piece. Cash app them, bitch. Fuck is you talking about? Y'all want to play on some bullshit, bitch? Y'all want to play something? Man, I pay a bitch. Motherfuckers might not even be getting their stamps next month. These motherfuckers out here hungry, bitch. And that's the type of one I want. A hungry bitch that ain't got no mama, ain't got no fucking resources, ain't got no motherfucking money, and they going fucking hungry, and $50, $60 is a lot of money to them. So, bitch, if it's beating your ass up for $50, $60 or getting that fucking money, bitch, they want their money. I know how to pick them out. Fuck is y'all talking about? Bitch, don't play with my motherfucking baby.
These videos were posted on TikTok and they were directed at students, and the students saw them, and we heard from the families that they felt threatened by these videos. This is evidence of a substantial threat, substantial likelihood of a risk of harm. She threatened to beat up those students. She threatened to beat up their parents. If the students were 18, she threatened to beat up the students if the students were 18. She threatened to pay people to come and beat up these students. The district can't ignore that. So we issued the notice of trespass on October 22nd, 2025. And if you look at it, it states the factual basis for the notice. It states that it has been determined that your behavior poses a substantial risk of harm to other persons. It states the basis again for it. It does tell her that if she needs to communicate with the district regarding schoolwork and things like that, how to communicate, who she can communicate with. That's Exhibit 3 in your evidence. Exhibit 4 are 4 different emails, and they're important because Ms. Allen keeps telling everybody else that we haven't explained the basis for this. We haven't explained why it was issued and all of that. We have. These are 4 emails that were sent basically that same week to her explaining. The first 4A is from me, and it's to her, and it is explaining specifically that she has the right to file a grievance under board policy FNG local, and that she can use the grievance paperwork that she already has. 4B is an email from Chief Clements. He's explaining the legal basis for the trespass notice. He's also explaining a little bit about why she received it from the constable from Precinct 3, and I'll get to that in a minute. Exhibit 4C is another email. This is from me again to her. It's again explaining that this was issued by us. This trespass notice was issued by the school district, not by the Harris County Constable. Mr. Link later confirmed to her that the reason why it was done that way is because the constable delivers our legal documents. The fact that they delivered it, and we don't know what exactly they did when they delivered it, but they did deliver it. The fact that they delivered it did not mean that it was a Harris County document. It was still our document. Again, this email on October 28th explains the legal basis and the right to file a grievance. And then the last email on 4D is the email from Jared Link, and it specifically, again, explains that Harris County, that it was issued by the school district, and that Harris County was used to deliver it. That's the district's practice for both law enforcement, and they use officers as couriers as needed. For that reason, a deputy hand-delivered the district's trespass notice. And Mr. Link explains that. If you look at the top line of the response email from Ms. Allen, she says, clarification, I do not plan to file a grievance for an appeal or notice. That's what we proceeded on understanding, was that she wasn't going to file a grievance. You can see in the record, she filed this grievance on January 31st, 2026. She waited a full 3 months until well after the football season was over. It's arguably timely. We decided to let her go forward with it. I had another video. I was going to point it out. I may show it in my rebuttal if necessary. All it really points out is that even into February, she was still posting videos saying that she doubled down. She agreed with what she said. She showed no remorse. We understand that Mrs. Allen feels that her daughter has been harassed and bullied, and she certainly has a right to defend her and speak up for her about that. But that doesn't give her the right to harass and bully other students. That was the reason why she was trespassed. She has shown no remorse. She has shown no indication that she intends to act differently, and for that reason, we ask you to uphold the trespass notice.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Ms. Allen, would you like your rebuttal time? You have 5 minutes if you choose to use them.
Before I begin, I want to say that it was not directed to anybody. I didn't name anyone, and so yes. So I put on my headphones because I don't want to hear any more lies from this district. I'm not about to allow your lies to upset and disrupt my spirit like y'all did my daughter's senior year. What you all heard is the district's desperate attempt to build a case by selectively using short snippets from multiple lengthy videos to fit their narrative rather than presenting the full truth with transparency. Let's go back to Talia's sophomore year. There was an incident where a parent walked into the cheer practice in the school's cafeteria, putting her finger in the captain's face and was verbally assaulting her. While in her personal space, this child was a student on campus and was attacked by a parent. The parent was not trespassed or endured any consequences. She was able to attend all functions without incident. The only consequence was that all parents were banned from practice. This further proves that the district is using their position and power to retaliate against my family and treat us as a problem. We were the only ones that had faced consequences, as Mr. Chris lied before. The district has not taken care of the bullying, right? So the further claims, GPISD claims to be upset that I say that I would pay someone to fight the bullies or fight them myself or their parent. I still don't see nothing wrong with it when they were the aggressors and they were the ones wanting to fight. If they were insistent on fighting my daughter, who is known for being non-confrontational and doesn't want to fight, giving them a different option should not be a problem. I guess it's only a problem when my daughter was picked on. Actually, the same girl set up a meeting Friday and jumped a student this Saturday that just passed. Again, selective outrage, treating my daughter as she is the problem and not following procedures. GPISD has a real problem following procedures. I was not a threat when these kids previously needed rides when their parents wouldn't or couldn't give them a ride. I also stated that Talia is known for being respectful and kind, but this is because I put a lot of time into breaking generational curses. Talia does not reflect her entire family. She comes from lineage that some may find disturbing, but I do not care. That's why you leave people alone, because you don't know what you are walking into. These kids want to act hood, but when someone applies hood pressure, then everyone is the victim. GPISD has multiple students that are killers, robbers, thieves, and sexual predators attending their school, so this dramatic act over a video is quite funny. Again, trying to play victim when the only victim is my daughter, Talia Jenkins. Talia was further targeted and humiliated in front of her team and the bullies, including her bullies, in a safety meeting where they isolated and targeted her. She was so embarrassed that she apologized to everyone, including her bullies. But no one took accountability for their actions and apologized to her. This caused her further distress. She has advocated for herself in these instances, to have the behavior to simply stop. Her peers and her friends have also tried to advocate to stop this behavior, and you all did nothing. I have told them plenty of times I am not receiving my daughter back the way I am sending her to school. The mental strain placed on my daughter has still never been addressed. If I was an immediate threat or a substantial risk, as he liked to say, then provide me with the documentation that supports that in all the aforementioned concerns. I don't want words, I want documentation. Nothing I said was illegal. Nothing I said was a threat. It may have been vulgar, but I'm a grown woman and I can speak on my personal page as I please. What I was going to, what was I going to gain by saying my daughter was bullied? I had nothing to gain from it, especially because the only thing I was asking was for my daughter to be left alone. Also, the bullying is being covered up because his daughter is involved. The SRO niece is involved. Multiple kids have told me that they have made statements supporting that Talia was bullied. Just like multiple kids have spoken up about my daughter being sexually harassed and y'all have done nothing. So stop playing games as if y'all have been doing something to protect my child. Good day.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. Gilbert, you've got 5 minutes for rebuttal.
Three things. Mrs. Allen said the videos were not directed to anyone. She may not have used names there, but they were directed. They were directed to the cheerleaders that she's been having her feud with, and those people understood they were directed to her. She said we use short snippets to try to mislead. You saw the whole videos. We didn't cut anything out of any of them. And in talking about the threat to fight, which she said she made, she said, I still don't see anything wrong with that. That's the problem. So for that reason, we ask you to uphold the trespass notice and extend it until the end of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Now that the parties have completed their presentations, do any board members have questions for either Ms. Allen or Mr. Gilbert? I'm not seeing that any board members have questions, so it is now time for the board to consider making a decision on the issues that have been presented, as well as the documents that have been entered into the record. The board will now convene an executive session pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code to seek legal advice. The board will come back into open session to complete the hearing, including any decision in this matter. Thank you. The time is now 5:12 p.m.
Executive session is adjourned and the board is now in open session. The time is 5:30 p.m. I will entertain a motion on the level 3 appeal.
I, Noe Esparza, move that the board find that the trespass notice issued to Ms. Allen on October 22nd, 2025 complied with the requirements of state law and board policy based on the record and oral arguments presented tonight. And I further move that the board deny the relief request by Ms. Allen as already having been provided to Ms. Allen by the administration.
I, Linda Clark Sherrod, second the motion.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and second by Ms. Linda Sherrard. All in favor? The motion carried 6-0 with no abstentions. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 5:31 p.m.
When would I get my documentation? I still have yet to receive any documentation. I still have yet not paperwork for my daughter. I still have yet to get the bullying record for my daughter. So there's a lot of things that I do not have. And I am not surprised that you all band together and said that y'all wasn't that y'all said it was properly enforced, but y'all have yet to tell me why officers came to my home and approached my children and aggressively knocked at my door. So where are those answers, or when are you going to get them to?
So, Ms. Allen, tonight was about the trespass. It's my...
It has a lot to do with the trespass because they said that they were coming for a trespass warrant. So all this is
This meeting to order. It is 5:41 p.m. We have no public comment for posted agenda items today. I will now turn the floor over to Ben Poppy, Chief Financial Officer, who will present a budget workshop.
Good afternoon, President Garza, Board of Trustees, Dr. Moore. We're here for the first look for our budget workshop number 1 for the 26-27 budget planning. This is the agenda that we'll cover. We'll talk about the last year's legislative impact that's affecting current year, budget updates for current year, enrollment projections and a 5-year look back, budget assumptions for 26-27, fund balance with a 5-year look back, and next steps. Yeah, so last 89th legislative session, we had the Big House Bill 2. That was the teacher pay increase, which is pretty much a pass-through from the state to the school districts, given additional funding for the teachers' salaries. We had an increase in the early education allotment, and then they had tiered intensity of services that will actually begin for 26-27 for special education. And then we do get some additional reimbursements for initial evaluations. So current year budget to actuals, we did receive some additional property value audit, which gave us some additional revenue. Interest earnings is higher than expected. Interest rates did decrease, but they didn't continue to decrease. We did have a dip in average daily attendance and enrollment, which pretty much left revenue flat. And then we had some savings on expenditures for the compensation budget, and we did have a 5% department budget reduction that started in 25-26. So overall, if you remember, we had a budget adoption deficit of $4.3 million. We are projecting a $1 million deficit. We do have 4 more months left in the budget year, so we're hoping to actually end in the surplus. So we'll continue to work with leadership to get that to flat or at least a surplus, hopefully. The enrollment projections continue to decrease, but look like they're starting to flatline. We have about a 5% decrease if you look at the last 4 or 5 years, and we're just over 20,000 for enrollment, and then 18,273 for average daily attendance, and that's what we're projecting for the 26-27 school year. And then very early budget assumptions, again 18,273 for average daily attendance, which is how we're funded. Property values, we put 11.6 billion. We'll know that in a couple of weeks what that actual number is. And then the tax rate, we'll see a slight decrease in the M&O tax rate just due to compression from House Bill 3. And then we'll have a slight increase on debt service based on the 2024 bond. And then campus and department allocations. And then we did do a budget right-sizing committee. And then this does model a 2% general pay increase as part of the budget. So the initial look at the 26-27 budget is a $9.9 million deficit. Again, that does include the salary increase of 2%. And we'll continue, we don't expect to bring that back for adoption at that number. We'll continue to look over the next 4 months with the expectation to adopt a smaller budget deficit. Here's a 5-year look back on fund balance. You see a significant increase from 21-22 to 22-23, and then we pretty much flatlined out about $222 million, and this is just projecting that $1 million budget deficit for this year, but that is just a number that we put in there. Again, we have 4 months to try and get that back and keep it at $222 million. And then next steps, we have a couple weeks. We'll get the certified estimates from HCAD. We'll have, there'll be a board meeting for TRS Active Care. We'll get the rates and the premiums in a couple weeks as well. And then we'll continue to analyze revenue projections. We'll continue to analyze expenditures. And then we'll review any reclassifications and position requests. And then we'll bring back to the board a general pay increase recommendation in either May or June. And then I'll be back in May, June, and August to give you continuous updates on the budget development process, with the expectation to adopt the budget on August 25th and have a tax rate adoption on October 5th. Again, this is a first look, very preliminary, and I'll be back next month to give you additional updates on budget workshop number 2. So pending any questions?
I do. Thank you for the update, but do you have an estimated amount of how much we've had to cover in unfunded mandates from the state?
I don't have an exact amount, but I can get you an estimate on unfunded mandates and an underfunded mandate as
That's right.
well. Combination. Any other questions?
Said the enrollment had decreased to like almost 400 and some kids. Are we tracking, seeing where these students are going?
Yeah, it's all tracked in our student information system database that explains why they left, or if they moved, or if they went to charter or private school. So we track all that in the student information system.
The way they are weighing on the special education, the new policy, will that significantly increase and help?
We don't know how much that's going to help us yet, even though all we know right now is it's 8 different categories of intensity of services for 26-27. We are pending TEA guidance on what that looks like and what that actually specifically means for Galena Park I.S.D. I don't know if we'll even have that information before the 26-27 fiscal year begins.
So do we know if it will include general education with accommodations, or?
We have no
idea.
guidance from
Okay.
TEA, so we're going to be conservative with that number, and then any funding we get will just help the budget. All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Pop.
thank you.
I will now turn the floor over to Lee Ramirez, Executive Director for School Operations, and Ken Bush, Director for Transportation, who will present SB 546, reporting on school bus 3-point seatbelt cost.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Moore. I'm Lee Ramirez, Executive Director of Operations, and this is Ken Bush, Director of Transportation. And we are here to talk about Senate Bill 546, which is reporting on school bus 3-point seatbelts. So Senate Bill 546 passed during the 89th Texas legislative session. It's a school safety law that mandates the installation of 3-point seatbelts on all school buses. The law officially took effect on September 1, 2025, and the school districts have until September 1st, 2029 to reach full compliance. Districts must report their current seatbelt status and estimated compliance costs to TEA by the end of the 25-26 school year, May 29-26. And we are prepared to do that. Ken Bush is going to give you that information right now.
Good evening. Mr. Ramirez spoke to you through about Senate Bill 546 and its timeline. I want to talk to you a little bit about the bus fleet. We have 134 buses in our fleet. 74 of those are C278 passenger buses. 60 of those are special education buses. Of those 134, 71 have a compliance issue with Senate Bill 546. As we look at the next slide, to bring those 71 into compliance, we'll need to retrofit those buses. It costs $41,000 to retrofit each bus, whether it's 78 passenger or a special needs bus. The total cost to retrofit all 71 buses is $2,911,000. It is important to know, though, that safety is a priority, a number one priority for our department and the district. All 3-point harness buses that have 3-point harnesses have signage on the doors telling students that they must wear their seatbelts. All of those buses are used for extracurricular activities. Looking at the next slide, we have a proposal, initial compliance plan, where we break it down into 2 parts to make sure that we are taking care of those 71. The first part is using our current fleet replacement schedule to replace 18 of those buses over the next 3 years. To replace those 18 will cost $2,700,000. The remaining 53 will need to be retrofitted at a cost of $2,173,000 for a final cost of $4,873,000 to cover all 71 and bring us into compliance by 2029. And I believe that brings us to the end of the presentation. Are there any other questions or any questions?
I do. How much did the state give us to cover their mandate of adding seatbelts to all our buses?
Currently, none.
You can be truthful. The answer is
Yes,
nothing.
No, I'm being very truthful. They don't give us any money to replace those or retrofit those buses. I do know that the district is looking into grants and other funds to replace that and help aid with funding that replacement or retrofit.
Right.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Bush. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 5:51 p.m. A quorum is present. I will now call this meeting to order. An executive session of the board will now be held on the matters contained in the notice for this meeting as authorized by sections 551.01 through sections 551.084 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Should the board determine that any final action, final decision, or final vote be required with regard to any matter considered in such closed or executive meeting or session, then such final action, the final decision, or final vote shall be either this public meeting, the reconvene on this public meeting, or a subsequent public meeting of the board upon notice thereof, as the board shall determine. A closed or executive meeting of the board will now be held. The time is 5:53 p.m. Executive session is adjourned and the board is now in open session. The time is 6:04 p.m. The Board of Trustees of Galena Park Independent School District is now convening a regular meeting on Monday, April 13, 2026 in the Administration Building of Galena Park Independent School District, the address of which is 14705 Wood Forest Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77015. The time is 6:04 p.m. I want to welcome the members of the audience to the meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Galena Park I.S.D. Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policies for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibilities of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the board, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members receive information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on this notice. The meeting is open to all whom wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of the meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed sessions to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by sections 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in Galena Park Independent School District. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. We have no public comments for non-agenda items today. Tonight's invocation will be presented by Linda Sherrard, and the pledges to the American and Texas flags will be led by Cunningham Middle School Air Force LOTC. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flags.
Good evening. Your customer, bow with me, please. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my God, my strength and my Redeemer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come tonight as humbly as we know how. We come, Father, as empty pictures before a full fountain with no merit of our own. Thanking you, Lord, for this day, a day we've never seen before. Father, we're about to begin the business of coming to the end of the entire school year. And we ask, Father, for special blessings for this team of 8, that we sit tonight and we make decisions that are pleasing in your sight. We thank you, Lord, for the protection that you have placed over all of our schools, over our communities, over our students, and all of those from the moment they walk into those schools, the security, the bus drivers, the people that keep the schools clean, the educators, and those teachers and the principals that you have placed on those campuses. Please, Lord, continue to be with them. And Father, before I end this prayer, I enlisted a special prayer for the leader you have placed over this awesome task in Galena Park I.S.D. Please continue to ground his head with wisdom and knowledge in the presence of John Moore. These blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore.
All right. I recognize all these people. Y'all will find out why here in just a minute. Greetings. Thank you for coming. Glad you spent a little time with us this evening. You know, it's April. School year is getting long, and shortly it'll be over. So thanks for coming, and please come back and see us May, June. You know, sometimes it gets lonely around here in the summertime, so we'd love to see you then. All right, here we go.
All right, good evening. Trustee Ramon, Mr. Garza, would you please assist with tonight's recognitions? Galena Park I.S.D. would like to begin this evening's recognitions by congratulating 3 Galena Park High School swimmers, Colton Baldwin, Cesar Martinez, and Sarah Martinez. These 3 young people have achieved a historic milestone for qualifying for the 2026 UIL State Swimming and Diving Championships. Colton Baldwin qualified in the 200 individual medley, a demanding event that requires mastery of all 4 competitive strokes. Cesar Martinez qualified in the 500 freestyle, one of the most rigorous distance events in high school swimming. And last but not least, Sarah Martinez earned her spot at the state meet in the 100 butterfly. Will all principals, coaches, and members of our athletic department please join them on stage for a photograph? Parents, y'all taking photos there? All right, very good. Thank you all so very much. Great job, young people. Next, Galena Park I.S.D. would like to recognize the Superintendent Student Advisory Board for their leadership and dedicated service to their schools and community. Members of the Superintendent Student Advisory Board include, from our CTE Early College High School, Alonzo Castaneda, Arleth Diaz del Rio, Marcus Navarro, Frida Ortiz, Melanie Perez, Priscilla Pina, and Jeshua Puente. From Galena Park High School, we have Mia Balderas, Lorenzo Delgadillo, Mia Carrera, Alize Fuentes, Cairo Nieto, Ethan Ronsonet. From North Shore Senior High 9th Grade Center, tonight we have Juliana Ramirez. From North Shore Senior High 10th Grade Center, we have Anaya Brown and Angel Gutierrez. And representing North Shore Senior High School, we have Kyla Eckford, Lionel Hunter III, and Jace Tapis. Students selected to serve on the advisory board with Dr. Moore and other district leaders throughout the year to provide feedback related to important student, school, and community concerns. Superintendent Student Advisory Board members are respected campus, community, and peer leaders with valuable perspectives. They provide suggestions for continuous improvement of the services and programs the district offers to students and are required to participate in one community service project each year. This year's service project was an anti-vaping campaign that the students took the lead on, creating posters and service announcements that were shared with the school community during Vaping Awareness Month. Will the respective campus administrators also, thank you, please join them on stage. All right, thank you. And this concludes the recognition portion of our board meeting for tonight.
Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon this time. Does anyone have a comment?
I'd like to congratulate the swimmers for making history. You guys are awesome out there. No, I said history, but making history, right? There goes at state. You know, the guys are. For anybody who's never been swimming, I recommend you see their instructor back there. Just try it one time. I could barely do 25 yards. When you said 500, I was like, wow. You know, I commend you. And also to the students that volunteer their time to be part of the Superintendent's Leadership Council. You guys are so important to making sure your voices are heard directly by the superintendent, and I can promise you that what you tell him gets right back into what we do in policy. So thank you for volunteering your time and participating.
Thank you, Jose. Dr. Sharonda Hunter, Executive Director for School and Community Relations, will present the district spotlight with a feature of Galena Park I.S.D. Communication Department segment, which spotlights special activities, events, and behind-the-scene moments of their dedicated team serving the school community.
Good evening. Thank you, Board President Garza. To our board trustees, our cabinet members, we just want to thank you for this opportunity to spotlight the communications department. And without further ado, here's our video. Greetings. I am Sharonda Hunter, Executive Director for School and Community Relations. I have had the pleasure of serving in Galena Park I.S.D. for 26 years, with 13 of those years in the School Community Relations, aka Communications Department. So, what does the GPISD Communications Department actually do? Glad you asked. In just a few minutes, we're going to take you on a quick and fun journey behind the scenes of the work we truly love. Our work centers around 3 important things: building strong community relationships, producing and managing district events, and telling the powerful story of Galena Park I.S.D. We partner closely with our superintendent and district leaders to connect with our families and community, share important information clearly and compassionately, and make sure our entire school community is represented with pride. We help bring district events to life, from planning and coordinating to capturing the moments that matter most. And one of our favorite parts is celebrating our students, staff, parents, and school community, because Galena Park I.S.D. has an incredible story to tell, and we're honored to help tell it. This work is meaningful. It's creative, and yes, we really do enjoy every part of it. So now, let me introduce you to the amazing team who makes the magic happen. So we're here from Galena Park I.S.D. Communications Department, just seeing if our students have a clue about what we do for the district. Have you seen anything on a marquee, on our social media, on the webpage? Any clue how any of that happens? It's magic, right? It just happens?
Yeah, it does.
All right, thanks. Have a good day.
No, is that a real job?
I'd like to imagine it's a committee.
I think it's I believe Dr. Moore does all that, doesn't he? It's like magic, maybe?
Mr. Riggs.
Mr. Ricks, okay, all right, okay, cool. So Mr. Ricks takes care of everything for the district.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I interview Dr. Moore every single day. I provide, I don't know, I'm just kidding.
So in my second year in working with the communications department, needless to say, it has been a wonderful experience. It has grown me, and I think most importantly, what it has done for me is it has given me an opportunity to see just how impactful the communications department is and the important role that they play here in Galena Park I.S.D.
Well, when I learned that I would be transitioning to the communications department, I was really happy about that. I feel very familiar with Dr. Hunter, who I have worked with in the past. Jerome, Jamie, I've seen them in the district. And so I felt that this was something that I could come into and learn and grow in.
I have the pleasure of interacting with the whole community, the district. Ever since I moved to the receptionist area, I've met a whole lot of new people.
So I feel that the communication is really great in Galena Park I.S.D. We get correspondence sent via email, we get correspondence from school notices, from the individual campuses, and also on the marquees when you're driving down through the communities.
Well, first, it's an honor to be part of what we do here at Box 26, shining a light on the great students in Galena Park I.S.D.
I think it's important for the community to know what's going on in the district and about the students and about the staff.
It's actually very exciting. It's very exciting. You get new stories every day, new people every day.
We're looking for stories. We're looking for those great stories to tell about the student athletes and what they do, what they've accomplished. And when you have a Sharonda Hunter, who I can call, at midnight, hey, I need a student athlete, Sharonda, who you got? Who you got? Just send me somebody I can talk to over here. She always comes up with that athlete, that student athlete who has a great story, great GPA, great on the field, off the field, it doesn't really matter. Everyone over there, athletic directors involved, they've also come in and done a tremendous job on the show, and I appreciate everything that they've done.
It's extremely important from a community relations standpoint to serve as an ambassador because I get the opportunity to represent and tell Galena Park I.S.D's story. And so working collaboratively with others, and they get to see some of the great things, and we get to build relationships in our school community is extremely important.
When the community sees that or reads that information, that makes, I think, them feel more comfortable of what's going on in the school district with their students, and they have it's a positive outlook on everything that goes on in the school district. And without the communications department, that doesn't happen. They are the force behind getting that information out to the community, and it's a win-win for the community knowing that the people can have all this information and feel comfortable with the school district.
Sometimes the children don't always bring home the information timely, and sometimes we just, being parents, forget. And so the text messages, the social media, I get all of it. Everything that the district puts out, I get, and I am appreciative of all of it because life sometimes you get busy and you need those reminders.
One of the things that I have learned and has really impressed me is that the communications department is just not the department in a big building. The communications department is the voice of the district.
I think our community has developed some trust in us. And we're the same people. We've been doing the same things for a long time here. But I think they understand more about what we do because our communications team does a good job.
Every year you guys call me. I'm on your media roll. I'm honored to be on your media roll. This is every year. So it's so good to be a part of that because it lets me know that I'm also part of the community.
Superintendent writes it, I think.
I have no clue about all of that.
I always thought it was Mr. Pearson. He sends me everything. No, ma'am.
No clue at all. Well, what about when you get those letters that say stranger danger or out of an abundance of caution? Any clue where that comes from?
I thought that was AI. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, wow. So AI has taken over the communications job.
Communications does more than just communicate what's going on in the district to our community. They also do all of our special events, and there's a lot of them. All the formal type events that we do run through there, and it becomes extra. So, we don't hire extra staff when we win a state championship. Same people down there got to just add that to their plate. We don't hire extra staff when we become HEB Large District of the Year. The same group of people are down there, it just gets added to their plate. Or if we have a teacher that wins some kind of national or state award, we don't add people to deal with it. We don't contract it out, we do it all ourselves.
Oh, wow. There are lots of adventurous moments in the communications department for the simple reason that we do a variation of things. We host events, we set up events for the community, for the superintendent, for Teacher Leadership Council, Community Leadership Council, Superintendent Student Advisory Board, and any other groups that we may have.
I'm on the back end, so any orders that need to be placed, I'm the go-to girl. Any decorations, making sure that decorations are on hand for those events. One particular event that I took pride in and that I was really excited about is when we honored the Fidelity Manor graduates. It was my greatest joy to see how that room came together with all of their logos and their jackets that we were able to get from their school years and all the items that they had, their pictures that they had brought, and then to set up a room just in their honor for them to check that out. It was amazing.
Our groundbreaking ceremonies, our grand opening ceremonies, all those kind of things are communications, and I don't think people always see all that. So, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And so their ability to make things like that special is a really, really big deal.
The first thing that comes to mind is whenever we get those text messages from the district, like about stranger danger at North Shore, Galena Park, all of the district areas, that's part of their job. And I feel like that's a really important thing to have in our community. It keeps us informed as students, as teachers, as staff, and also their parents, which is, it's an important, vital thing to have.
So we work really closely with our superintendent of schools and his team in his area, which consists of Ms. Angie Esparza and Elizabeth Valdez Beltran. And so we work really closely to make sure that we get the superintendent's message out in a manner that is excellent, in a collaborative manner, in an efficient manner, and we make sure that we tell the story the way that our superintendent wants the story told.
I didn't realize first of all, how much content is pushed out through the communications department, how often the content is pushed out, and how this department has to be ready at all times to push information out, receiving information, sharing information, trying to decipher information, all in hopes of ensuring that Galena Park I.S.D. is branded well and that the information is going out to our parents and our community in a way that is honest, truthful, but that also leaves the listener or viewer with good, sound information.
The main purpose of the audiovisual team is to tell the story of Galena Park I.S.D., be it through video, be it through images. Our main purpose is to tell the story for the community to connect with us, to be able to understand what's actually going on here, so they can kind of relate from their own personal experiences, and basically just have a good feeling about the district and understand that we're here to serve the students as well as the community. We did like a little short mini documentary on each principal, and the purpose of that was for people to really connect, because some people may be intimidated by a principal for whatever reason, but the purpose of that series was to show the human side of the principals. And to go back to your question about branding, I think, and building community, that's what it does. It builds community.
My role with the media team is, first of all, scheduling all their coverage requests. Second of all is translating anything that needs to be videoed, sent to social media. We translate it, make sure everything goes out in English and Spanish.
Day-to-day usually involves sometimes going out to different campuses, capturing footage, photos, coming back to the office, and editing those photos and videos.
Mainly, I am the district lead photographer. I take a lot of the photos that happen for our events that we have, that we get coverage requests for. Also take care of our publications. Also work with some graphic design.
And don't forget about all the social media stuff that we do. It never goes off. Every holiday I pick my phone up and there's a posting for Galena Park. Well, somebody had to do that.
I also help with the social media platforms, and I actually schedule postings. I also do Dr. Moore's monthly messages. Go out there, set up the cameras, set up the teleprompter, set up lights, microphones, everything essential to get a nice, perfectly produced video.
Typically, my creative process starts with some type of consultation, maybe, with whoever the event is for. Just getting an overall idea of what exactly they are looking for and what their vision is. I look up ideas. I'm a big Pinterest fan, so I'll look up things online, get some ideas, and typically I take those ideas and kind of tweak them on.
Every once a month, we do the Board of Trustees meetings, the SHAC meetings, spelling bees. I do spelling bees as well.
Most of the general public sees the final product of what our videos and that kind of stuff. But I'm not real good at this. So that tells you how good our communications team actually is. The magician thing, when I did the magician thing and the conductor, that is so out of my element. I mean, I'd be better off hammering a nail or something.
Before I even start editing a video, I pick the music. That's the first thing I pick is the music. Music and sound design is most important. To me, personally, everybody has their own opinion. To me, that's first.
One of my experiences with them has been something similar to maybe watching an old Batman movie. For example, it's quite common for us to be filming something, or at the end of it, and you hear noises like,
sometimes when I listen to music, I start conducting or something.
Boom, pow, bam, cut.
I'm a band person. I'm seeing it like boom, 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 all that.
It's a little shocking sometimes as to how animated the department is.
So this, I say, okay, this is cut right here. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I like to do. So yeah. So that's the boom that Dr. Epps keeps talking about. The boom, boom. So yeah.
Well, there you have it. This work isn't just what we do. It's who we are and who we serve. Every connection, every story, every step forward matters. If we don't tell our story, someone else will. So we'll continue to share it with heart, with truth, and with purpose. Thank you. And I guess that's a wrap. Thank you for this opportunity. We had fun making that video, so thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
You guys thank you, and thanks to all the department because they do a wonderful job. And we know that Dr. Moore does not do that.
Oh, yes, please. Y'all saw him on the video, but wave, everybody. Y'all wave so they can see y'all. Thank you for everything you do.
And by the way, the board has their own photographer. We got our selfie king, Jose. So he communicates for us.
But he has to have a day job.
We now come to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We invite and encourage you to stay for the remainder of the meeting. However, if you need to leave early, we understand, and this is a convenient time to do so. We appreciate your attendance. Please come again. I, Ramon Garza, Board President, will report on Galena Park Independent School District Board members' continuing education credits. Evaluating and improving student outcomes, EISO. All board members have completed the EISO training. Child abuse prevention training. All board members have completed the child abuse prevention training. Cybersecurity training. All board members have completed cybersecurity training. School safety training. All board members have completed the school safety training. Update to all Texas Education Code, TEC. All board members have completed the update to TEC training. Team building training. All board members and Dr. Moore have completed Team of 8 team building training. Additional continuing education and training. All board members have exceeded the additional continuing education training requirements. B. Mr. Ed Martier, Director of Facilities Planning and Constructions, will provide a 2024 bond program and facilities construction update.
President Garza, Board of Trustees, Cabinet, Dr. Moore, good evening. I'm here to provide you with 2024 bond update, construction updates. Cimarron Elementary. This was taken Thursday. We have, that is area C of the elementary, so there was a concrete slab poured at that time. And right now they're efforting to pour a little bit what's left of area C and going on to area B. But we've had some weather, so that set us back a little bit. Here's another view of it. As you can see, Emporia on the background. We still have the fencing for the kids to have safely navigate through our construction site, and that sidewalk is behind that, the screen. This is a view of the Galena Park High School Phase 3A, the new field house. It's kind of dark in there, but as you can see on your right-hand side, they have brought in temporary mechanical units just to condition the area because we're preparing for gypboard installation and then it finishes. Here's another view of it. You can see the yellow ductwork in the background there, and that's all. That yellow rectangle is going to be the finished elevator. This is for the North Shore Junior High multi-use facility. This pour occurred last Friday. As you can see, the foreground is going to be Mustang Drive, and it's almost complete, and it's going to tap into the old one. And in the background of that big field of concrete, that is part of the band field. We are experiencing some issues with relocating those power poles, but those have been resolved, and we can continue on with our pour. Here's another view of that. Any questions?
Looks good.
How far behind are we because of the rain?
Actually, we're still ahead of schedule, sir, so
Oh, that's
not
good.
too bad. We've had good weather. It was just a couple of rain issues here and there.
Thank you, Mr. Martier.
Thank you.
With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Amanda Arabia, move we approve the general consent agenda as presented.
I, Jose Jimenez, second the motion.
A motion was made by Amanda Arabia and second by Jose. All in favor? The motion carried 6-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the construction consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Adrian Stevens, move we approve the construction consent agenda as presented.
I, Noe Esparza, second the motion.
A motion was made by Adrian Stevens and second by Noe Esparza. All in favor? The motion carries 6-0 with no abstentions. With the respect to the financial consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Amanda Arabia, move we approve the financial consent agenda as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
A motion was made by Amanda Arabia and second by Adrian Stevens. All in favor? The motion carries 6-0 with no abstentions. The following documents were presented to the board for information. A, Dr. Juana Giacona, Chief Administrative Officer, presented 1, the Early Head Start Policy Council meeting minutes from February 2026. 2, the Early Head Start Update and Fund 205 Expenditure Report Summary for February of 2026. B, Mr. Ben Poppy, Chief Financial Officer, presented 1, the Tax Collection Report, February of 2026. 2, the 2016 Bond Financial Report as of February 28, 2026. 3, the 2024 Bond Program Financial Report as of February 28, 2026. And 4, the General Fund Budget Summary Report for the period of September 1, 25 through February 28, 2026. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 6:41 p.m.